Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video with me, Sebastian Jern. Today we're gonna talk about how I created the pandemic short film. So the way I'm gonna guide you through this video is by 9 different steps. It's gonna be about 15 minutes long. If you don't have time to watch it all, you can actually go down in the description to find timestamps. So the main reason for creating this video is to show you my thought process of how I created the whole production of the short film. I will also touch on color grading, storytelling, what gear I use. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. Okay guys, so welcome to the editing room. I will go through all the scenes, starting with the intro, right? So let's watch it. So the reason for creating this intro scene is to make the viewer understand everything starts somewhere, and for this pandemic it's a food market in China, right? So the red represents where the virus is. You can see how I play with light. There is often hours taken in consideration how I should light a scene. Often I try to move light, makes it like more dimensional. Well, I try to always have a camera movement as well. Here you can see the probe lens together with the GVM motorized slider, right? So for this video I changed every color from all the stock footage clips to red to represent the virus. So this is what I did with the Earth. You can see here I used the change to color picker, where you can actually change to any color you like. You will see in the whole video this snowy particles that represent something in the atmosphere, like something is not right. So this is the original clip from the man in the market. It's blue from the beginning, and I used the change to color picker to make everything red, and as well you can see I desaturated the human skin tone, so it will be looking more like the miniature worlds, you know, red and white. The next one is the market, right? So here I used the particles again, just to represent that something is going on in the atmosphere. You can see the red detail of like a meat, or it could be anything really. It's a universal language. I try to tell, like, wherever the red goes in the video, the virus goes. Okay, let's move over to scene number 2. The reason I created this scene is to show you how the virus is spreading from one person to another. So it takes like a few trial and error all the time to create the right mood, the right shadows, and the right angle from the probe. I know a lot of people use the probe to create really narrow macro kind of wide shots, but I see the probe more of like a drone, but in a miniature world. Since I've flown drones for 6-7 years, I have quite the same mindset of when I want to go through buildings and everything with a drone. I can see where the perspective will land in the probe macro world as well. Okay, so let's go to the editing. You will first see here how the shot looks when I haven't color graded it. I will not go into depth of how I color grade because that would take too much time, but you can see here if I turn on and off my layers, before and after kind of look. So what I do is I desaturate the whole image, and then I bump up the reds in the HSL secondary segments. So you can see here I have 200% saturation on the reds, right? Okay, so for this next clip there isn't a lot to talk about really. So I'm gonna show you the LUT I'm using for the whole movie. It's film convert nitrate. And you can see the settings here to the left in the picture. Okay, for the next scene here, there is 2 animations going on at the same time as you see the footage. So you have the smoke, right, and you have the particles to showcase the atmosphere outside the window. And you see the smoke here, it's tracking the movement of the video clip. Okay, let's move to scene number 3. This short second of footage took 2 days to complete, but it's a crucial part of the video because here the virus is spreading all over the world. It's like you can't control it, it's just everywhere and it's going fast. So how I created this was using styrofoam and tried to make it as round as possible, but still using the abstract art of white and red. So I didn't want to color it with the earth colors, just to make it in the same kind of mood as the rest of the video. So I'm using holy powder here to mess up my whole studio. It took maybe 1 to 2 hours to clean everything up because it's got so messy. But I think the results made it worth it. Okay, so let's move into the editing. There is a lot to cover in this short second, but the first thing I did is always to remove the fishing line. And the way to do that is to go into After Effects and search for an effect called CC Simple Wire Removal, which is really easy to use and it works wonders all the time. So you will need to track this effect, because for this shot, when the powder hits the stone, it wobbles a bit, so the wire will wobble as well. So you need to track the movement of the wire so it will be covered in the whole frame you want it. Okay, so here you can see the results, and as well I think it was enough, you know, powder to make it pop, but I wanted different kind of particles, so I used some layering with 2 extra red splashes, which you can see here. So it's 2 layering, and I put those in screen blending mode. Okay, so moving into scene number 4. And what I did here is I built a red kind of prison just to represent not the virus itself, but how the virus affects the world. So this is the isolation part, where you can see here the different angles how I shot this. Okay, so let's move into the editing. This is the same kind of idea with the red color picker, so I will just scroll through this. Okay, so for this shot is really cool because I thought it was nice to see like a time lapse, everyone is inside, right? So that's a really nice clip. And as well I used a LUT here called Black Eye. So for this clip, this is really crucial to tell the story. You see his eyes is perfectly played out here. He's really emotionally drained. He's scared. You see the face mask, and you see the hand, and you have the window that really represent that he's in quarantine. Okay, so for the next clip, you see a short clip of an eye here, and you can see the eye shutting in a really good rhythm to the next clip. So you have this natural transition between the clips, which is really nice, and you see the person here standing inside in quarantine. Scene number 5 here. Okay, so scene number 5 is about greed. The red person here is taking all the toilet paper away from the old lady here. He decided to hoard and take everything from everyone. He's thinking about himself. Okay, let's move on to scene number 6. Let's watch it together. This is the economical part of the pandemic, right? So here you can see me building the blocks for the diagram. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you fast here how the original footage looks like. So this is actually a blue clip from the beginning, which turns red later. And here is the raw shot from the probe lens. You can see the particles now, you can see the grading, you can see the desaturation of the white. Just a really good image if you compare it to the raw one. Scene number 7. Here is the result of the economical issues and the stock market crash. It results in people getting fired. I carved out the letters and really wanted to use the shadow. So I pointed a really strong light from Aputure, the 300D. For editing this, there is nothing new from the rest of the clips. I just want to point out the man's eyes here because it's a really important part to the miniature set. So moving on to scene number 8. Okay, so this is the climax in the video, right? The music and the clips is going faster and faster. And the reason why I used the hospital scene at this point of time in the video and not in the beginning is because this is the worst part of the pandemic, right? People get fired, the stock market is crashing, but people are actually dying and doctors are heroes. The parents, the grandparents, the children, everyone is affected, right? So I just wanted to really evoke emotion here. So the music's actually custom made from genius artist called Agul. We'll leave her links in the description below. You really need to check her out because she's an amazing talent. Okay, let's move into the editing. I will show you here the raw footage and then when all the effects is turned on. You can see the film convert doing its magic here again, you know, adding grains and a good amount of color effect. For the next 2 clips here, I'm gonna just show you how powerful this change to color picker is. You can change in a blink of an eye from one color to another, and here's a super clear example how it's made. Okay, so for the next clips here, you can see how I used like element of water, blood, people, you know, changing the skies, making everything red. All these clips are super fast paced, so you won't even recognize all the details in them. And that's the reason why I wanted to use like element, like clouds, because it's faster and easier for a person to understand. And here you can see the epicness of the skies and everything is just crashing down. Okay, so in the ending here you can see the styrofoam I created here, the earth, just splashing in red, just making it look like the world is going under. Okay, so this is the last scene, scene number 9. Fjord in Norway scene. And the reason why everything is so slow, to be as much contrast as possible from the scenes before when you have this climaxing music and everything. And now we are on the other side of the pandemic, right? Now we can take it calm, we can just relax, enjoy life again and be close to each other. Okay, so let's move into the editing here. You can see some effects into the video. It's a flare, anamorphic lens flare, and as well clouds. And the reason why I used these 2 effects is because I wanted to make a transition that you're actually coming to a new world, like a new better world for everyone. What you need to do here is to put these on screen blending mode And you can see the persons here, they are red in the beginning and then they turn white, and then in the ending of this clip you can see they turn as we are in color. Here on the left side that I created some kind of irregular windows just to make shadows within the scene here. Okay, so the ending clips after here is like the follow-up of the motion from being, you know, in the last scene really stressed out, the world is going to end, you know, all these panics, and now you see two persons are connected to each other again, we can be close to each other, we don't have to worry about viruses anymore. So here I reverse the clip and use the original color, which is blue, to make everyone understand that the virus is over. And that's about it. So let me know in the comments below if you think this is a good setup to show like an overview of the whole project. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video, and I catch you in the next one. Welcome back to another video with me, Sebastian John. I'm just kidding. Or am I?